fight assignments here in Las Vegas in recent years. Did not handle the super fight last Saturday night, but is here to be in charge of Lomachenko against Walters. By the way, Walters has a draw, a blemish on his record. It wasn't really a draw. It was a terrible judge's decision in a fight clearly won by Walters. Lomachenko has a loss on his record, but there's a story behind that too, as he insisted on fighting for a world title in only his second professional fight and wound up in a matchup against the craftiest rule bender in the sport, Orlando Salido, and wound up losing an extremely close decision that a lot of people disputed. So both blemishes on the two records are questionable, and that's what you'd expect from fighters of this level of skill and this level of preparation.
Lomachenko always wants to fight the best in his weight class, whoever that is. He doesn't care. Has told his representatives, his manager, his promoter, I want to fight the other belt holders. Barring that, give me the #1 contender. He's not available #2, #3. Walters is the best available opponent who we're getting with Lomachenko, and he's a top flight fighter in and around this weight division.
Southpaw against conventional fighter. First round is often a, quote, feeling out round. Lomachenko has been pushing his jab out there, checking the distance between himself and Walters. Walters throwing a jab out there as well. Neither man has landed one of their more significant punches quite yet.
Nicholas Walters just taking his time with his jab, trying to find an opening for that big right hand. Lomachenko being very smart, taking his time, trying to figure out the length, the distance. One thing I have to say right away, though, is that Nicholas Walters, for any fighter that's been off for 300+ days, does not show any ring rust at all.
343 days since his last fight, and a lot of that delay was brought about by his determination to get the best deal he could possibly get for this fight against Lomachenko. He knew he was going to fight him. He wanted to get paid.
Nicholas Walters is a linear fighter, very forward, backwards. And Lomachenko is a fighter that fights in semicircles, at angles, and is the faster fighter, and is a southpaw and is better defensively. Walters, the bigger puncher, needs to lay traps to catch Lomachenko on the way in, I think, in order to land a big punch.
And Lomachenko just landed a pretty good left hand on Walters. If he does that again, it's going to get bad for him. That was a good right hook by Lomachenko.
Lomachenko has begun to pound the range. Walters hasn't done so, so in the last minute of round 1, it was Lomachenko who began to establish his offense against Nicholas Walters.
He's ready. He's ready for your punch. Fake the first attack, and then the second one is for real. Otherwise, keep your hands in their place. Keep going forward. Feel him out with the hand and then go forward.
So at the end of the last round, Lomachenko's superior abilities start to shine through. As I said, Walters has fight-changing power, but I don't know if he can just go out and create that offense on Lomachenko. I think he's going to have to catch Lomachenko with something on the way in.
That would be his best out.
Walters has fight-changing power. Lomachenko has fight-controlling craft. And now Lomachenko has begun to pepper Walters with tight, short punches. Jab, quick left hands. Getting just close enough to land. Still making himself scarce when Walters tries to throw back.
As good as Walters is, and he's not a guy that fighters around this weight division are rushing into the ring with. Lomachenko, big favorite.
Yeah, he's
5 and 6 to 1 in this fight, and that speaks to, you know, boxing insiders' knowledge of his ability.
Yeah, he's staying very close to the X-Man to try to neutralize that straight right hand. Doing a very good job of staying close. Sooner or later, though, that was a good right hand.
Yes, it was.
Sooner or later, if he lets Lomachenko continue to weave out to his left, he's going to bring a right hook from over there that's not going to be pretty.
Who's he, Roy?
Nicholas Walters.
Talking about Walters.
Like right there. So he baited him into that shot. He saw it the first time, but he didn't take it. But since it was there, he came right behind it and followed and landed the straight left hand. That's what we call him high tech. Lomachenko, that is. Good jab by Nicholas Walters. Another good jab.
Gets in another good jab. So Walters has begun to find the range now.
Just with the jab. Lomachenko
hasn't landed a big right hand yet.
Yeah, Lomachenko doesn't mind the jab. He just doesn't want him to find the range with the straight right. Or the right uppercut. Good left hand again by Lomachenko. Another good left hand by Lomachenko.
He's just out-quicking Walters at this point. He's able to make quicker movements. He's more decisive about where he wants to go and when he wants to go there. He's getting the spots before Walters can deal with him.
Getting outside of that right hand by stepping to his left. Stepping to his right, which is away from Walters' right.
December 10, Terrence Crawford, the pride, knocked out the highly
Lomachenko, as you watch him work, generally fighters as physically gifted as he is don't attain his kind of technical craft, as you would say, Jim. And in addition to that, he can craft, and he's a southpaw, and he's really good defensively. He is the total package.
And Nicholas Walters would be smart to try to land that straight right hand to the body zone.
Good quick left hand inside by Lomachenko.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And they don't acquire the Lomachenko level craft usually because they don't have to. But Lomachenko has the skills of a guy who's not as talented as he is, but he is supremely talented.
And when Lomachenko's going low to his outside, which is his right, and Nicholas Walters is staying straight up there in front of him, sooner or later that's going to be real dangerous for him.
For Walters?
Yes, because Lomachenko sees the right hook and he sees the left hand. I don't think Nicholas Walters realizes that he's in harm's way. Like right there, move he's making, he's constantly making him get used to seeing it, but not throwing it off of it. Eventually, he's going to do it one time, and it'll be a smashing hook that'll come from it.
Walters has landed some uppercuts. That one was low in this fight when Lomachenko's jumping in a little.
Walters getting a little impatient, it seems, too.
And not focusing much on Lomachenko's body.
As again,
that was a good shot. Just as you said it, Jim, you must have woke the idea up from him.
I would think that to have any chance against Vasily Lomachenko, you might want to focus on the body for the first stages of the fight. Set up something for later on.
I agree with you 100%.
So in this round, Walter finally throws body shots. Still missing with the right hand upstairs. Lomachenko, we see that great footwork. Constantly able to move side to side and step around Nicholas Walters. He's a step-around fighter of the highest order.
Yeah, the other thing about Lomachenko, I mentioned that level of athletic ability combined with that little level of craft, but he applies the craft aggressively, and in a busy style, particularly for a good defensive fighter.
Makes guys keep their hands at home a lot with the small or the light offense. Then once he gets them settled at home, he brings a bomb. Lomachenko, that is.
Hands free, don't hold. Hands free. Stop. Let him go. Let him go.
Four-punch combination for Lomachenko. after Walters.
A sign that a lot of people in the corner feel they need to give you advice because you're not doing well.
Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. I got a 3-0, 30-27. Vasily Lomachenko. You know, Jim, he's boxing beautifully. I got to tell you. And at round 3, he started throwing combinations. In rounds 1 and 2, it was, it was the right jab and a straight left. In round 3, he started throwing really nice combinations. I got to tell you something, though. Nicholas Walters should go out there and punch. Now watch. Every time Lomachenko throws that right jab, he covers up. If I were Nicholas Walters, I would be punching like a madman, throwing shots, jumping right on Lomachenko, but he's not. He's covering up, and that's the reason why Lomachenko's winning the fight. Landing more punches with that right jab. Walters covering up too much. 3-0, Lomachenko.
Couple things about that. Harold brings up some interesting points. One, Lomachenko establishes superior position. You see the right foot outside of Walters' left foot. So Walters, especially when he throws the right hand, has to cross over his entire body.
Don't do that.
Miss the target or else hit it very lightly, while Lomachenko's in a much better position to counter. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I do agree that Walters should punch more because his best chance is to catch Lomachenko in an exchange. Maybe not win most of the exchanges, but land something big in an exchange. But Walters is not exactly a high-volume seek-and-destroy guy. He's a boxer-puncher.
He just went at it with a good hook, and Lomachenko countered the hook with 2 big punches, so that also would make him slow down and not be so aggressive. I think Lomachenko's offense has neutralized or made lack of for Nicholas Walters to be very offensive in this fight.
Yeah, I think Lomachenko's footwork has something to do with that, too.
Yeah.
Fighters don't like to miss punches. So Harold Letterman may say, well, Walters should throw more. But if Walters throws more and misses the punches, he's not going to want to keep doing it.
Especially when you have a guy there who will discipline you for your misses.
And that's what he's doing. Good body shot by Lomachenko.
It's just the quickness and decisiveness of Lomachenko. The way he seems to know exactly what he wants to do from moment to moment. He's got the other fighter on the defensive, even when he's not trying to land big.
And the variation of speed and power on his punches. Tap, tap, lulls the opponent to sleep, and then something hard. Can put him to sleep.
Good hook by the X-Man.
Stop. Come on, both of you. Keep it clean. Here we go.
Everything Lomachenko does is predicated on position in the ring. He so easily establishes position with his footwork.
Watch the back of there. There we go.
Gets inside of Nicholas Walters' long arms. Lands punches on the inside. Makes Walters miss.
In the head. Understand?
153. So Lomachenko, with a 35-15 edge and landed punches in the last couple of rounds, is piling up CompuBox numbers early against Nicholas Walters. At the beginning of the fight, between rounds, Walters was listening to his Panamanian trainer, Celso Chavez. For the last couple of rounds, increasingly, he's been looking at his father, Job Walters, and listening to what he has to say. But if you're searching for the right voice in the corner, it means you haven't found things working the way you wanted them to inside the ring.
You know, Lomachenko is doing to Walters what he did to Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. is a special talent. And Lomachenko just took him to school, virtually shut him out. And Nicholas Walters is a top-flight fighter in the lower weight classes. The draw was bogus. He's undefeated, really. Knocked out Donaire. Has established himself as a fighter that fight fans want to see and think very highly of on the kind of outskirts, if not actually in the top 10 pound for pound. And Lomachenko, as he did to Gary Russell Jr., is just turning it into a boxing lesson.
It's not quite to the point where you would say that Lomachenko is toying with him, but he's able to do what he wants to do.
Well, he's almost toying with him. He moves around him like that to a point to where Nicholas Walters can do no good, no harm to him at all. So he's doing pretty much whatever he wants to do at will. And that is somewhat toying with the guy until you catch him with a clean shot. Nicholas Walters is trying to put the punches on. Lomachenko, and Lomachenko is not showing him a steel target or an open target. Therefore, he is less likely to throw punches because he doesn't see anything.
And for a good defensive boxer, Lomachenko takes chances. You know, Walter's only shot, it looks like, is to catch him with something big, and it would seem as though Lomachenko's giving him some opportunity by the pace that he's working at, the way he's inside of Walter's punching range, but his defense is so sharp. He has such mastery over distance that I don't see a lot of opportunity for Walter.
You heard the thudding body shot by Lomachenko there as he pounded the left into Walter's rib cage.
Stop, I got you. Yeah.
Walter's looking for an opening instead of just punching until he finds an opening. With Lomachenko, he punches until he finds an opening.
Lomachenko dropping his hands. I mean, how many fighters would drop their hands in front of Nicholas Walters?
In front of the Axeman.
It's amazing to watch what this man can do. For one-of-a-kind corner right now. Covered. But Whitaker wasn't nearly as busy an offensive fighter as Vasily Lomachenko.
He was a more careful defensive fighter and not nearly as dynamic an offensive fighter. But Purnell's defense is the reason that in his prime, no one really could touch him. The easiest prediction to make was Purnell win 12. Didn't matter who he was fighting.
Stop. No.
Occasionally he was ripped off by the judges.
Yeah. Keep your hand up. You can't push your head down. Let's go.
Roy, it looks to me as though
Lomachenko's willing to push it a little bit more and therefore maybe be more vulnerable, but be more exciting offensively.
I'm wondering, based on what I've seen in the last couple of rounds, Roy, if Nicholas Walters is starting to think he's got a better chance of landing a big left hook than of landing a straight right hand.
Yeah, I think he does because Lomachenko is taking the right hand away completely by stepping around to Nicholas's left. So Nicholas is thinking now the right hand can't get there, so I should try to land the left as he's stepping to my left side. Maybe I can run him into it. But that's what's dangerous is because when he steps around there, he runs you into stuff before you get a chance to try to run him into something. So it's a very tough task for Nicholas Walters right now. Good body shot.
Left hook to the body. That's a good choice and a weapon that could help him down the stretch, and that sets up a chance to land a right hand.
Lomachenko in this round has started to land some combinations upstairs against a responsible defensive fighter as though he's hitting the floor-to-ceiling bag, Roy.
That's him. That's how he does it. That's why they call him high tech, Max. He makes guys like that. I told you that shot was going to come soon because he's over on that left side, and Nicholas is not really prepared, thinking that he's too far away, and just then he cashed in on it. Good body shot by Nicholas.
Yeah, he's landed some big body shots this round.
He's making some really good choices, is Nicholas Walters, in this round, landing his left hook to the body several times. It's a smart choice on his part, but he's landing one punch at a time, whereas Lomachenko is landing combinations.
And that one punch at a time is never going to work on Lomachenko because he's usually way too slick for that.
No.
Lomachenko almost landed an uppercut and now chops away with a combination.
Part of a slick boxer, and Lomachenko is among other things a slick boxer, creating excitement with fans, is the crowd reaction. Fighting in front of a small audience here, there's not the same kind of energy that kind of emphasizes the amazing things Lomachenko is doing, and consequently, this fight so far is less than exciting because it's so one-sided. If this was a huge kind of pay-per-view extravaganza, what Lomachenko is doing would be highlighted by the fact that he's doing it against this quality fighter.
Fight. So we're halfway through the scheduled 12 rounds. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
I got to agree with the Copy Box
six, guys. 6-0. 60-54, Vasily Lomachenko. Jim, what a beautiful boxing job. I mean, he is really special. You know, the movement, the hand speed, the right jabs, the right hooks, the straight left hands. Boxing beautifully. I tell you, if there were more old guys like me around, you'd compare him to Willie Pep because he's that kind of a boxer. Absolutely beautiful boxing job for 6 rounds. 6-0, Vasily Lomachenko.
Was Pep as aggressive and varied an offensive fighter as he is?
No question, Jim. Willie Pep was special. Willie Pep was quick. The only difference was that Willie Pep was right-handed.
Well, there's more. Willie Pep couldn't crack, and Lomachenko can punch.
He wasn't a big puncher, but a beautiful boxer.
Yes, he does have a lot of pep in him, but a better puncher. He has a lot of Purnell in him, but maybe more of a combination puncher. Even as Purnell dominated, a lot of times it was 1s and 1-2s.
Yeah, he's just busier than Purnell.
What I need is we have a interpreter in Lomachenko's corner to hear what he's saying, but I need me a damn interpreter for Nicholas Walters' corner because I can't understand nothing that they're telling him.
Well, and our great Spanish interpreter, Jerry Olaya, has the weekend off for very valid reasons, so we're guessing.
Good body shot. Partially blocked by Walters.
And I think you can tell by the number of people who are trying to talk at the same time in Walters' corner that there's a mixed message.
Oh, good shot.
Lomachenko finding the target more and more.
Stop. Here we go. Here we go. Turn around.
1 minute to go in the 7th.
Now he's getting comfortable, Lomachenko is. He's starting to figure Walters out. He's not afraid of power no more because he knows how it feels. And now he's pressing his attack, trying to get him out of there.
I wonder if this level of fearlessness is a good idea against a guy who can punch like Walters. Walters badly off balance
Good
there.
hook by Walters.
Gets in a good left hook. Still missing with the right hand.
And he's taking his best weapon away from him. Kind of the way we saw Nonito, Rigondeaux take Nonito's left hook away.
Yes.
He's taking Nicholas Walters' straight right hand away. Like that right there.
Oh my God! I mean, he's toying with Nicholas Walters.
This is amazing.
What's going to be really funny is the next time Walters is in with a top fighter and scores a knockout.
Right. And we'll remember how good he really is. This is indeed becoming toyage.
I told you that 3 rounds ago.
Yeah, you did. You were right. Lomachenko waving at Walters with his